You made it. Graduation. So for this video, it's intentional, wearing pajamas, a sweatshirt. I just figured if I'm making a senior commemorative video, class of 2019 video, that it's only appropriate to wear the proper attire, We're seniors. Senioritis is real, people, alright? So basically, I just wanted to be like the embodiment of a senior. Okay, so at the time of recording this, it is May 3rd, 9:17 p.m. Now, you might be thinking, Tristan, that's like 6 days before graduation. You had like a long-ass time to make this video, and you're just now recording this? Yeah, but I think procrastination fits the senior agenda perfectly, and I think it'll make this video even better. To be honest, I think I've just been avoiding this video just because of all the emotion that I'm gonna feel throughout it. I already feel pretty anxious. Just so you guys know, making YouTube videos isn't easy for me. Like, I might seem pretty confident a lot of the time, but I have to push myself to do this stuff, and just wanted to throw that in there for anyone who might be holding back from doing something because it makes them uncomfortable or they're just not confident enough to pursue it. And honestly, that's the biggest reason why I started following Seek Discomfort and Yes Theory. A little free promo there for Seek Discomfort and Yes Theory, but honestly, I just really support what they're doing, and so I wanted to be genuine with you guys and let you guys know. But anyway, this video isn't about Yes Theory, it's about us. The class of 2019. We finally made it, It's been a long journey, and it's overwhelming. I know that we've been talking all year, and honestly, the past 4 years, about getting out of this hellhole we call high school. But now that the day has finally come for us to move on to this next phase of our lives, I can't help but feel at least some sadness. Honestly, it's gonna be weird not seeing all the people who I've basically grown up with around me. Even if we never talked, it's just basically become a routine to see each other every day in the hallways or just whatever. Sure, there's a lot of shitty things that we could say about high school. We could nitpick and just pick out all the drama and rumors that were spread throughout high school, but to be honest, I think that there's a lot of good things about high school that a lot of us might take for granted. But now that I'm done talking about all that, let's talk about the journey we've been on so far. We started off in elementary school. We were all so innocent and didn't have a care in the world. It really was a blast. We collected silly bands, played DS, and had those coil-shaped shoelaces. Those things were dope, not to mention the countless hours of Disney and Nickelodeon that I would watch. We had recess. What I would do to have recess in high school. Boys would get chased by girls on the playground, and I couldn't even touch rim on a 6-foot basketball goal. A lot of us met some of our best friends in elementary school that would stick around for a while. I know I did. Then came middle school. A giant meteor known as puberty crashed into us and shattered our innocence. This is when some people started making some pretty bad choices, and some of us might have lost friends because of it. Middle school is a rough time, filled with a lot of confusion and discovery. We had our first big crushes, and for some of us, maybe even our first serious relationships. But damn, middle school is a weird time. If I had to describe it in a really gross way, it's basically like a giant orgy. Everybody's horny and nobody knows how to control it. I know it's a really gross way of describing it, but it's true if you remember middle school. And saying that, that's also why middle school is the shortest of the three. Now, with our newfound horniness, we rolled into high school, and we found out that a lot of the things we thought were cool weren't really that cool. Now, high school was filled with on-again, off-again relationships, but some of us might have actually found our future husbands or wives, and to you guys, I wish you guys the best. If we're really simplifying it, there's kind of two basic paths that people take in high school. Either you take path 1, follow the rules, get good grades, and make friends with the administration. Or path 2, which is be a rebel, don't give a shit about grades, and get in trouble with the administration. Now, obviously those are the extremes, and most of us probably land somewhere in the middle, but if we're really simplifying it, that's kind of how it works. Now, those people who take path 1 tend to go through high school worried about college and their futures, whereas the people who take path 2 tend to only care about the temporary pleasures. It's sad to see this kind of split in our class happen, but nonetheless it does. And it happens with all classes. So what that leads to is a lot of people losing friends in high school. But we also made new ones. Making new friends can be hard sometimes though, and some of us got involved with the wrong people and made fake friends. Learning how fake people can be is honestly one of the most valuable things I learned in high school. And if we're being honest, overall, the most important things I learned from high school weren't from the books or classes at all. Like, sure, thanks high school for teaching me about the quadratic equation, the periodic table, the Industrial Revolution, and William Shakespeare. But in the long run, it's the things that high school unintentionally teaches us that will really stick with us forever. The social skills. I made so many great memories in high school and met some really cool people that I hope to stay in touch with. Now, are there things about high school that suck? Yes, obviously. I made some of my best and worst memories in high school, but nonetheless, I'm glad I went through it, and I certainly don't regret it. High school has taught me so much in so little time that would have taken me forever to learn on my own. Regret is another thing. I hope none of the people watching this have any regrets now or ever. Regret is usually caused when someone doesn't take action or make a choice when they wanted to. So, be bold, class of 2019. Do things that make you uncomfortable if it means you're pursuing your dreams. And certainly, don't not pursue your dream because someone told you it's not possible.
So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant, and when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
And that's something that I firmly believe in, so please, if you have a passion, pursue it. Just whatever you do, don't chase money. Don't become a doctor or a lawyer just because your family wants you to or because you like the salary. It's easy for us to believe that money will make us happy, but it's just not the case. We're living in a time where suicide rates are the highest they've ever been, and a lot of the ones you hear about are celebrities or people who are well off, because it's supposed to be shocking that they would do something like that. Well, newsflash. An excess of money is pretty worthless if you don't have someone to spend it on experiences with. It might sound cheesy, but ultimately, having people around you who care about you and share similar passions to you is so much more uplifting than a piece of paper. Speaking on career paths though, we're all going to be going in our own directions pretty soon. Although graduating might feel like the end of something right now, it's really only the beginning of our lives. Some of us will be doctors, whereas others will be plumbers. Maybe you'll work at McDonald's your whole life, or maybe you'll be the world's next biggest celebrity. No matter what you end up doing, just remember, all of them are necessary. It's just all about your outlook. Now, I'm not saying this is like some general rule or something, but in my experience, some of the nicest people I've met have been fast food workers, and some of the biggest pricks I know of are celebrities. Once again, I'm not saying they're all like that. I've run into fast food workers who aren't the nicest people, and I definitely know celebrities who are really awesome people too. But anyway, I'm not saying go be homeless and you'll be the happiest person in the world. I'm just saying do what you love. I love making YouTube videos. If I was just trying to get famous off of YouTube, I would have quit after the first couple videos didn't go viral. Your future is up to you, and you don't have to have it all figured out right now. I certainly don't, and I'm sure most of the people watching this don't. If you're going to college, just don't feel tied down to a certain major. Explore your interests and find new interests. That's what this time is for. You're only at this point in your life once, so make the most of it. And also, I don't think it's right for people to feel pressure to go to college. It's basically become like a societal norm for everybody to just go to college straight out of high school, but college isn't for everybody. If you truly don't think it's for you and you can do whatever it is you're passionate about without a college degree, then go for it and don't waste your time and money. Whatever it is you end up doing, just don't waste your life doing something you hate. You only get one life, so live it to the fullest. Most of us are adults now, and we're going to be going out into the real world really soon. We're being sent out into a world that is broken, and we're basically being told to wing it. The generation in power right now has taken no action. All they've caused is division in our country, and ultimately what happens in our country affects the world. There are issues being discussed in government that have been around since before we were born, and maybe even before some of our parents were born. That's ridiculous. That's not how government's supposed to work. It's not about who wins or who loses. Liberals, conservatives. Government isn't a game of basketball. You guys aren't on opposing teams. Ultimately, you guys both want the same thing: to better our country. But by constantly arguing and never compromising, you end up doing the exact opposite. There have been way too many instances of inaction in our country. For example, the whole gun restriction issue after the multiple mass shootings we've endured as a country. Now, this was an issue that I initially agreed with liberals on. However, after discussing with conservatives, I would have been fine with going through with their plan as well. But what ended up happening? Nothing. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think both the liberal and conservative ideas on the gun restriction issue would have worked. But as a country, we were too divided and too ignorant to make a choice. And ultimately, making no choice at all is just disrespectful to all those who lost their lives to shootings. We are called the United States of America for a reason. We're supposed to be united. Now, that doesn't mean we all have to be best friends with one another. Just means we have to have mutual respect for each other's opinions, and all this drama between liberals and conservatives just causes more division. The truth of the matter is, we're not gonna agree most of the time. It's just not possible to get 330 people all to agree on anything, and that's why we need compromises. Class of 2019, Gen Z, there's so much hypocrisy in our country right now. We have been taught ever since we were kids the importance of teamwork. But when we look to our government, the place where teamwork should be the most important, there's none. If we want any chance of providing better lives for future generations, we must fix the division in our country. It is a need. And we need to all remember, none of us actually know the answers to the problems that our government faces. We only have ideas, and it should be in our best interest as a country to combine all of our ideas to get the best possible solutions. Class of 2019, we're living in a very important time, and we might be the United States' last hope. The United States keeps going down the road that it's going, our government's gonna go to shit. Now, obviously, the class of 2019 doesn't make up all of Gen Z, but we're a part of it, and we're a part of a generation that needs innovation. Now, all that being said, we're living in a lot better times than our ancestors did. But right now isn't the most important thing. We also want to ensure that future generations have just as good, if not better, opportunities and live in an environment that's just as good, if not better, than we did. And if we keep following the trajectory we're on right now, this might be our peak. But it doesn't have to be that way. If we're a generation that takes action and makes changes and is innovative, then we can be the thing that this country and ultimately the world needs. I've really gone off on a tangent and I apologize, but I think all these things are really important for our generation and the class of 2019, so I just wanted to talk about them. Overall, it was pretty good. I mean, most of the people around me were pretty accepting, and even maybe when I did something that would be considered controversial, there were a lot of people who were open-minded, and even if they might have not agreed with me, that would come up to me and talk to me about it in a respectable manner. And I just appreciate being in a high school environment that allowed me to do that. Also, starting off my own YouTube channel, I was terrified when I started my YouTube channel. It was a time in my life when I didn't have very much confidence, and starting it has really helped me, you know? Even though I'm not like some big YouTuber, like I always say, I've had a little community that has been there to watch my videos and support me and point out things that I should do or change, and that means a lot. I mean, obviously there's gonna be people who poke and tease you about it. My friends did when I started it. But if you just don't let that stuff get to your head and you just keep doing what you love, then they'll stop. And now I think a lot of people think it's cool that I make YouTube videos. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for supporting me and my channel and helping me to start pursuing my dream. Like, I know there's a lot of high school environments that would just eat me alive for doing something like this if I hadn't been at the school that I was at. And also, I know that there's people who have terrible high school experiences. I know there's people who are ruthlessly bullied throughout high school, and for that, I don't know what to say except I'm sorry. I wish there was more I could do, and I wish that you didn't have to deal with that. But ultimately, it's about how you respond to that bullying that could make you different. Now, this is gonna sound really cheesy, but although 2 negatives might make a positive in math, that's not usually how it works in the real world. Throughout our adolescence, we've basically been brainwashed into thinking that bullying is just something that happens throughout school, and that's just complete bullshit. Honestly, there's more bullying in the real world than there is in elementary school, middle school, or high school combined. And so don't expect that stuff to go away, because it's not. Now, does that make it okay? Obviously not. Now, reacting to bullying by getting angry or retaliating would be the easy way out. That's our natural reaction to something that upsets us. But if we really want to lower the amount of bullying, I think the only way is by reacting with positivity and just not letting it faze you. If you've been bullied and you know how it feels, then you shouldn't want that for the next generation. And obviously, it's not going to be possible to completely eradicate bullying, you know? It's just how some people are. Some people are just hateful and negative, and there's nothing you can do about that. But by being a beacon of positivity and a role model for the next generation, I think we can at least lower the amount of bullying that goes on. One final thing I wanted to say is just that I really do love our class, and I'll miss you guys. Although this may be the end of our high school years, it's only the beginning of our lives. So, if you've made some bad choices up to this point and you recognize it, then change it. This is the time to start over. We're still only at the beginning of our lives, and I'm so excited because I know there's so much more to come from this class.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to introduce to you the 2019 graduating class of May South High School.
So, I think that's basically it. That's really everything I wanted to cover. I hope I did a good job representing the class of 2019, but let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and to all of my former classmates, I hope you guys will continue to follow me through this next phase of our lives. And, as always, see you goofies in the next one.
I'm done. Fuck you. I'm done.